had a very nice weekend. I really do. I'm Jeremy Cordeaux. Peter Clayton is behind the camera. Peter came in this afternoon. We're recording on Sunday, which is a very warm day here in Adelaide, I must tell you. He came in. We're recording Monday and Tuesday's shows. And Peter came in and he said, "Did you know that Anne Margaret had died?" Now, I didn't know that Anne Margaret had died, but when we looked it up, Pete, apparently she died 6 months ago.
Well, May last year.
May last year. Yeah. Now, I don't know why that didn't resonate. She was 82. 82. And Harold Mitchell, I hear this morning, one of the great names in advertising in Australia. He built an enormous advertising empire. Sadly, he died. He was 82. You know, look, as I say, God gives us the 70 year and 10, and everything else is a bonus. So, what are you hoping for, Pete?
Well, we're both on borrowed time. Look, I would like to make 90.
I think 90 is an honourable goal.
Yeah,
but it's not the years in your life, it's the life in your years, as we often say. I was sad to hear, not to fill this program like an obituary, but I was really sad to hear that Malcolm Stewart had died. He was a very frequent guest on my radio program for years, probably 40 years. No, it would have to be longer. I think I first started talking to him at 2GB, and that would be 50 years ago. 50 years ago. Malcolm Stewart in London, wonderful old-time journalist. When I was doing nights on 5AA, and not all that long ago, we took his syndicated segment every single night, always interesting. He was a great royal watcher, apart from anything else. But he always found these wonderful, quirky little stories. The share market, if you follow that kind of thing, is on the up and up. Standard & Poor's broke through the 5,000 barrier for the first time on Friday. As I say, if you're a viewer of these things, you watch these things going up, but you know whatever goes up comes down. I don't know the difference between the share market and going to the casino, frankly. But they tell me there's a difference. Even though Labor successfully wedged the coalition over this tax business, the third stage tax cuts in the last few days, it does throw up a fantastic opportunity for Peter Dutton and Angus Taylor, the Shadow Treasurer, to go to the next election with real tax reform. Don't tinker with it, really reform it. It's clapped out, it's not fit for purpose. Simplify it. Well, you know, the tax lawyers and the 4 big consulting companies, they'll be hopping mad. But no one else. Australian tax law is now 14,000 pages long. I wonder when that penny's going to drop. 14,000 pages long. They could, the coalition I mean, move away from taxing energy, ingenuity and effort to consumption taxes, at least apply them to everything. Lower, simpler, fairer taxes. It's a very good war cry for the Libs. I think that would resonate at every level, every bracket. Then they could take the pressure of having to raise so much money by going through every line of expenditure. Now, when was that last done? Probably never. Shocking waste. The NDIS, the ABC, the military, the budget for which has just reached $50 billion for the first time, growing at $2 billion a year. And for all of that money, we couldn't defend ourselves or repel an invasion on a sunny Sunday afternoon. And you know what I say, if you can't protect your borders, you're going to lose your country. It's happened before. There are far too many public servants. Waste, waste, waste everywhere you look. 60 people in the Prime Minister's office alone. Can you imagine? What do they do? 60 people in the Prime Minister's office. Let's have one flag, not three. Well, save a bit there. A bit. The chauffeur-driven Commonwealth car fleet. 620, I'm pretty sure I've got that number right. 620, mostly BMWs. We used to have, of course, Australian-made cars. Not anymore. 620, mostly BMWs, and a plan to move all these Commonwealth cars to electric at a cost of $200 million. Bet you haven't heard that before. There are the VIP jets, the endless travel, the endless accommodation. Then, of course, they could get creative. The coalition could get creative coming up to the next election. Enable people to access superannuation, to buy a house, the best investment that you or I will ever make, and yes, that does include superannuation. The unions wouldn't like that because they control so much industry super money. They want that to stay right where it is, thank you very much. Make inflation tax deductible. Now, we have a shrinking tax base. We need to encourage people to work longer. So, once retired, people on a pension can earn what they like without it affecting that pension. Perfect. Reward and incentive. That's not going to cost the government anything. It's actually going to make money because these retirees are going to be paying tax. And that, of course, was how the pension was set up in the first place. At the moment, government spends and spends and then takes from us to cover enough money for their excesses. Wrong way around. To keep incentive going, what they should do is to say, this is the most we can take in tax, and therefore we have to live and work within that budget and spend no more. In other words, what I'm saying is simply cut the coat to suit the cloth, like we all do. We have a certain amount of money coming in. We live within our means. Government doesn't. And up until now, no one has had the chutzpah to tell them. Well, here in the court of public opinion, ladies and gentlemen, I'm more than happy to tell them. Oh yes, global temperatures for December were the hottest ever. Hottest ever, what rubbish. Not here in the southern hemisphere, I can tell you. The northern hemisphere has been in a deep freeze. Where were they taking these temperatures? These people are mad, or they think we are. And while we're on the subject, we were promised that our electricity would be cheaper under Labor. That was a lie. But this is the truth. Please listen. And I do thank Sarah for sending me this. One company has increased its profits, this is an electricity company, by nearly 400%. One electricity provider increases its profits by 400%. Albo, your policy at work? No accountability, no apology. But listen, it's all about Labor's energy policy, which is alternatives, mad pursuit, irrational pursuit of alternatives. And what is the problem they are trying to fix? Our 1.3% contribution to global emissions. Let me continue. Around the world today, the EU has 468 coal-fired power stations and is building 27 more, being a total of 495. Turkey, or as the idiot ABC calls it, Turkey, God knows where that came from. Amazing. Turkey has 56 coal-fired power stations, building 93 more. That's a total of 149. South Africa's got 79 and is building 24 more. That's a total of 103. India has 589 power plants and is building a further 446, total of 1,035. The Philippines, they have 19, building another 60. That's a total of 79. Am I getting through to you? South Korea has 59 coal-fired power stations and is building 26 more. That's a total of 84. Japan, 90, building another 45, total 135. China, whoa, okay, China, hold it. They have 2,363 coal-fired power stations. And of course a booming economy and cheap energy. They are building a further 1,171 power stations, giving them a total of 3,534. We come to Australia. We have 6. Well, yes, we have 6, but we are planning to shut them all down. We are shutting down our remaining 6 power stations. Do you know why we're doing it? To save the world. Yeah, what a wonderful difference that's going to make. And we elected these idiots. It's totally amazing. Pursuing net zero emissions at a cost of $3 trillion is about as sensible as spending $40 billion on closing the gap, trying to provide 1% of the population who choose to live remotely with modern first world facilities. You know, hospitals, health centres, universities, high schools. Like all of us, they have a right to choose where they live and how they live. Nothing to do with the taxpayer. My only worry is, can we survive another 12 months with this crap? That does worry me. One of our sponsors in the Court of Public Opinion here is Jim Elder. And I would like to remind you just quickly that he is getting ready for his April and May. Well, it's sort of in the middle of March. His sales are fantastic. They are broadcast or online throughout the world, so he's got buyers absolutely everywhere, so he can guarantee you the best price. But these upcoming sales of well-known Australian artists and international artists, he always brings fantastic money for the people who put paintings in his sales. He's looking for entries. So if you'd like Jim Elder from the famous Elder Fine Art Gallery to come around and give you an obligation-free appraisal, he'll be very happy to organise that. He's looking for this upcoming March and April sale, Australian and international paintings. And I don't know, you may have something on the wall that you've been taking for granted forever, or you may have something hidden away, something that your great aunt left you because she kind of thought it was valuable, but you never liked it, but you didn't know what to do with it. Look, it could be worth a lot of money. Just have a talk to Jim. Sell it. No harm in finding out. Anyway, Jim Elder's beautiful art gallery is 106 Melbourne Street, North Adelaide. They're open Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. All you need to do is call Jim on 8267. You got a pen? I never go anywhere without my pen. True. 8267 2869. Or his mobile is 0417 811184. I'm pretty sure I've got that right. 0417811184. And I did tell you about that Hans Hyson that was up at the sale December that he got for someone who didn't really think it was worth too much at all. $28,000, nearly $29,000. Great. A great investment. Peter, you going to sing us a song later?
Yeah, if you'd like me to, yeah.
What will you do?
Well, it's a song I've recorded called Never Be Mine.
Never Be Mine.
Never
Yes,
Be Mine.
I know that. I've heard that. That's very pretty. That's not the one with Just Married at the end, is it?
No, no.
You'll have to do that one day as well.
I can do that.
That's very pretty.
Yeah.
A crackdown on dodgy training colleges. I might leave you with this one. Dodgy training colleges. Is nothing safe? The providers are in the hands of crooks. Isn't that what Bill Shorten said about the NDIS? I think he said organised crime. I think that's what he said. Organised crime, which presumably happened under his watch. Where is the ministerial responsibility? How did such a thing happen, Bill, under your watch? You pointing it out doesn't seem to remove it. And this Aboriginal funeral fund, I don't know if you've heard about this. We were talking about it around the dining room table, the broadcast, jeremycordeaux.com, last Friday morning. But Frank Pangello and I were talking about it. It's been going on, this funeral fund, for 30 years, aimed at Aboriginals, presumably run, well, I would have thought, by Aboriginals. It fell over 2 years ago. The previous government wouldn't bail it out. But not this one. Nah. It's going to cost us near $100 million to compensate those poor victims. Linda Burney, the minister, said Friday morning, oh, this whole thing was a scam. God. And it went on for 30 years without anybody noticing? In the Aboriginal community, there were no questions asked. Warren Mundine, I was talking to on Friday morning, said it was a shocking indictment of process and government. These people were crooks, the minister said. These people running this funeral fund. Really, minister? You are the minister. So like the crooked NDIS providers, no action from government, no one goes to jail, no attempt to arrest the directors. Oh, she said, they're not around anymore. I wouldn't have thought they would be, but they must be somewhere. Oh, it's all right. Just get the dumb taxpayer to pick up the tab. I think this government should have as a campaign slogan something else I said on Friday morning. I know nothing. I know nothing. I'm not to blame. Didn't know it was happening. I know nothing. The Sergeant Schultz defence. And what does the government do? Nothing. What does the media do? Nothing. It's very sad, really. Very sad. It certainly, Pete, gives us something to talk about, though.
It does, yes.
Can you imagine us sitting here and having no government activity or inactivity or stupidity to comment on?
Well, they do give us food for content, don't they?
Oh, they give us wonderful food for content. Oh, my God, yes. I'll just tell you some birthdays and then Pete's going to play you a lovely song. A lovely song. It's February the 12th. Yeah, it is. The first injection of penicillin into a patient. by British physician Charles Fletcher at Radcliffe Infirmary in Oxford, England on this very day in 1941, and before this day, well, thank God they got it into circulation or use before the end of the war. Because the only thing they had before penicillin was, I think, sulfur. So it was an amazing invention, and largely a South Australian invention. 2019 on this day, NASA data shows that the world, oh, I love this one. That's only a couple of years ago. 2019. The world has got greener, according to NASA. And they'd know, because they're up there quite a bit of the time. 5% more leafier since the early 2000s, mostly due to tree planting in China and intensive farming in India. We're getting greener. I like that. Anna Pavlova, Russian prima ballerina and choreographer, and namesake for the fabulous Australian dish, which we kind of pinched from New Zealand, I think. I can't remember.
That's what they claim.
That's what they claim. They claim all sorts of stuff in New Zealand. Born in St. Petersburg in Russia, died 31, born 1881. Charles M. Schulz, American cartoonist on this day. Peanuts, you would like peanuts, I'm sure. Dies of, sadly, colon cancer at 77, the year 2000. Captain James Cook. I liken him to Neil Armstrong of the 1700s, frankly. I think he was a great man. Captain James Cook arrives at Queen Charlotte Sound in New Zealand aboard Resolution on his third trip to the Pacific Ocean on this very day in 1777. And sadly, on this day, same day, 2 years on, he was killed in the Sandwich Islands, which of course were the Hawaiian Islands. That year was 1779. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th US President. He was born in Hardin County, Kentucky, 1909. I love Abraham Lincoln as well. And Winston Churchill becomes the Prime Minister of the Colonies in 1921. Gee. Well, actually, to be quite honest with you, it was he becomes Minister of the Colonies, not Prime Minister, I'm sorry. I got overexcited. Keith Richards, Mick Jagger and Marianne Faithfull got busted for drugs in 1967. Back in 1967, everyone was getting busted for drugs, I think. I wasn't. Were you, Pete?
No.
No. A drug was, to me, a Bex.
Oh, mine was chocolate, still is.
Chocolate? Chocolate isn't
That's my
drug.
I'm a chocoholic.
Oh, well, okay. I got to keep away from that, my doctor tells me. Lorne Green, his real name is Lion Calm Green. I never knew that. Canadian actor. He was born 1915. He was in, of course, Bonanza. He was Ben Cartwright in Bonanza. He was in Battlestar Galactica, born in Ottawa, in Ontario. He died in 87, born 1915 on this day. Had a wonderful voice. I think he spent a bit of time being a sports journalist, a sports commentator before he was an actor. A good radio voice as well. James Bulger, the English child, abducted, tortured and beaten to death at the age of 2 by two 10-year-olds, 1993, God. US President Bill Clinton acquitted by the Senate in his impeachment trial. That was 1996. They're quite colourful over there, aren't they? We must talk about President Biden. I don't think this could get any worse. He shuffles along, doesn't he? Poor man. I don't know. Charles Darwin, he could tell you, and Biden, a thing or two about the evolution of mankind. Charles Darwin, English naturalist, origin of the species, who conceived the theory of evolution by natural selection. He was born in England, 1909, on this day. And if it's your birthday or wedding anniversary, I hope it's going to be, or has been, because I don't know where you're watching this show. It could be anywhere in the world. It's Monday here in good old Adelaide. But I wish you a happy day. And if it's a day of celebration, may it be a very, very good one. I'm Jeremy Cordeaux. Peter Clayton and I'll be back tomorrow Thank you for viewing the Court of Public Opinion. Believe in yourself, and here is the great man to sing you a song.
Angel love, only you and I know. We made love sweet, we made love slow. A flower bloomed in spring, and everything was new, and nothing else mattered, only me and you. And like a beautiful dream that you hope will never end, we lived it for a while, but the truth wouldn't bend. It was never gonna last until the end of time, and we both knew you would never be mine. Photographs and memories, in the end that's all there is. As time goes by I'll think of you and remember your sweet kiss, your gentle touch, your smiling eyes. I'll remember your hair hanging long, and if I never see you again, I'll say I love you in a song. Summer's fading fast, it's a circle game, and all things must pass. And as for what we've done, I have no regrets. All that really matters is angel love I won't forget. Photographs and memories, in the end that's all there is. As time goes by I'll think of you and remember your sweet kiss, your gentle touch, your smiling eyes. I'll remember your hair hanging long, and if I never see you again, I'll say I love you in a song.